everybody? How you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the afternoon. Joining me today in the Xfinity Mobile studio, it is my pal, Mr. Flyperbole, Steve Jaco. What's going on today, Steve?
Bill, I'm back. The era of Steve supremacy on PHLY continues. Couple more days of this, folks. You're almost through it, but you're stuck with me for a couple more days.
We're gonna have it's really it's funny because I'm like, oh man, like it's only been me and Charlie a few times, and then like I look around sports media, and this is just kind of what goes on this time of year, especially right now when it's like there's the two times. There's the week leading up to right around the MLB All-Star game, the days that there are no sports, everyone just takes off. And then right now, because football season's coming, and like to a lesser degree for us specifically, hockey season, but like for the greater sports media as a whole, it's like football season's here. You're not off until February.
Right. I love that I came into this week thinking this might be like a little down week for me. Who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Steve's got days off, so I pressed him in the surface.
Oh my God. So I think between Flipe and this, it's going to be 4 podcasts this week. And then I got talked into doing like a comedy sketch thing on Saturday night. So like my entire week just turned into like that. I have to organize, by the way. So the entire week has just turned into like a whole thing.
I want to carve up some time for that at the end, Steve, because you apparently have this whole other life I don't know about, and I find it infinitely more interesting than hockey, especially like on August 14th. So I want to carve out some time to talk about that. But
I'm into it. Let's do it.
We have a couple of things to tell you about right now. First and foremost, hit the freaking like button. Do it. There's nothing stopping you other than your own will from hitting the like button. It is totally free, and it makes me happy. Do it. Click the little thumbs up, and boom. Bill's happy. All right. Right now, we have the Trading Camp Die Hard deal going on. $36 for the year. That's right, for the entire year, and you get a full Die Hard membership. Access to all of our premium content from our all-star cast of beat writers. Access to the Discord. You can chat about anything all the time. The Flyers Discord for diehards, it is a never-ending. If you're like, I really love social media for the sports talk, but it has just become so political, so insane, so toxic. The PHLY Discord, especially if you're a Flyers fan, it is just nonstop Flyers talk. It's actually insane. I can't keep up with it. It's so much. Charlie's in there a decent amount. Kelly's in there a decent amount. Charlie's in there a decent amount. I have trouble keeping up with it. But you get that. Discount on merch and events. So much great stuff. You want to become a diehard and do it now for the price of $36. Just scan that. Oh, no, wrong again. Scan that little QR code right there. And I'll never get used to it being back. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it always throws me off. But folks, best sports coverage in Philadelphia. Come on. What are you doing?
And we have a road trip, us and Philly Sports Trips, heading out west. We're heading out west in March 17th to the 22nd. So you have plenty of time, but you're going to want to get in on this because it's going to be a freaking awesome trip, and it's going to sell out. We're going to see the Ducks in Anaheim on the 18th. We're going to see the Kings in LA on the 19th. We're going to have some downtime on the West Coast near Disneyland, all that stuff, beach time. And then on the 21st, the Flyers are in San Jose, and we'll be doing a watch party for that. John LeClaire is going to be along for the trip. There's a pregame meet and greet, I believe, before the Anaheim game with John LeClaire.
Johnny Vermont?
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Nobody does a better trip than Philly Sports Trips. We've done a few events with them now. They've all been top-notch. Go to allphly.com, click that events tab, and book this now. It's going to make an awesome Christmas gift for the Flyers fan in your life, or treat yourself. It's going to be really, really fun. Make sure you head on out for that. All right. This is PHLY Flyers, and we are in the Xfinity Mobile Studio. And we have a little bit of breaking news right off the top here, Steve. We got some news about Tyson Foerster Bill Meltzer says, reached by text today, Flyers GM Danny Briere says Foerster appears likely to be able to start the 2025-26 season on time, and he links to his new site, Hockey Hot Stove, and it appears like he's going to be able to start the season, but he says not completely out of the woods in the article. Briere stopped short of saying Foerster is completely healed. From day one, his injury has been a touch-and-go situation. He underwent numerous tests to make sure it was properly diagnosed. Then it became a question of finding the best treatment. But it seems like he's on his way to being ready to start the season. That, precluding any major setbacks, of course. Check out the whole story over at hockeyhotstove.com. Bill Meltzer started a new site, and it's pretty good. That said, this is a big sigh of relief that, all right, barring major setbacks, even if it's not game one, even if it's not preseason, like we're going to be seeing Tyson Foerster before, the Christmas break or something, which is kind of what it seemed like may be the case at one point. But this is really good news for Tyson Foerster.
It's great news. I would certainly hope they're not rushing him back because
there
is no point to rush him back because this is a real whatever happens kind of season for the Philadelphia Flyers. And that's the kind of expectations you should have going into the season. This team could either finish bottom 3 or make the playoffs. There's really anything in between. There is almost the only thing I anticipate not happening is them winning the Stanley Cup. Everything else seems possible.
That would be surprising.
It would be very surprising. But Tyson Foerster is such an important player for this team moving forward. He's shown nice, steady progression over his first 3 seasons. He had 7 points in 8 games played in his first season, a little cup of coffee, and then 33 points in 77 games in 23-24. And then for a little bit last season, it looked like he wasn't really going to surpass, but then
he went off at the end.
Yeah, he ends up with 43 points in 81 games played, 25 goals, which was a really big one for me.
Yeah.
Because Typho's defense has been a pleasant surprise, but he got drafted for that big shot of his. We thought he was going to be a big old body that scored goals, real John LeClair style, right? Going back to Johnny Vermont over there. He doesn't play like John LeClair, but
no one does. It's a lost art.
It's a lost art. But the thing is, he's a big body who can screen the goaltender, get to the front of the net, something the Flyers need. Because they have a lot of little guys right now, especially for the guys who are ready. So whatever big bodies they can have, let alone one that can play excellent two-way defense and everything, that's awesome. So big thing for me, don't rush back. As long as you're ready, that's all I care about. And I would like to see him progress. If he can hit that 50-point mark or more this season, I'll be real happy.
Between the depth this team has it forward, specifically on the wings, and some guys we even want to get a look at. Like, maybe this opens up. I really think Bump is making it pretty much no matter what, unless he gets hurt or gets in a fist fight with Rick Tocchet or something.
He wants it so bad. He has that fire in him.
Alex Bump is here, but we have Grebenkin. We have a group of young forwards who could easily fill in, especially in spot duty to start the season. And there's really no rush for Tyson Foerster. He signed the bridge deal, so he's got this year and next year under contract. So it's not as if he's like, I got to get out and score fast so I can get paid. You got a whole nother year on your deal after this one, and you're still a restricted free agent when this expires. So, there's absolutely no reason to rush it. That said, if he is healthy, ready to go, now there's no excuse for a third straight slow start, because that has been, if I'm going to knock something about Tyson Foerster, I'm a big fan of Foerster. I think he could be a top 6 forward for this team. I think given his two-way play, he could play on a top line for this team one day. One thing I'll say is his rookie year got off to a real slow start. I think he had 1 goal in the first 15 games. And last year he was at 2 through 16. Needs to be better than that. Now listen, finishing strong, hopefully down the line. Okay, he's a second half guy. Maybe that means he's a playoff guy. Perhaps that all bodes well, but points in the beginning of the season count just as much for you and in the standings as they do at the end. Tyson Foerster, a major part of this team. I think the thing I'm looking for from him is to not start, at a deficit basically, and having to catch up to be able to, oh, look, he had a good year. And it's, well, the first 20 games, did he?
Like 3 months, he just was complete.
Yeah,
So last year, I'm looking at his game log right now. October 11th against Vancouver, he scores in the first game. Awesome.
Then I think he opened the season in scoring, and it was like, oh, he scored the team's first goal this year. It's not going to be a slow start like last year. And
then he doesn't have another point until October 23rd at Washington when he has an assist. So that's 4 games without a point. He doesn't get another goal until October 29th at Boston. And at that point, he's sitting there with 3 points, and he doesn't end up scoring again until November 16th versus Buffalo. So just a putrid start. And it isn't until the end of November that he really starts to put together like consecutive games with points and really, and I think that's around the time when he might have started playing more with Cates and everything. Cates had a slow start too.
I think end of November is when that line got together.
I remember a point when we were talking about, like, is Noah Cates trash? Like, is this even, like, a worthwhile player? And now we're saying, oh, Noah Cates is an integral part of the team in the short term. I don't know what the long-term forecast for Cates is, because I love Cates, but is he a center? Is he a guy that is he a second liner? I have no idea. He can play anywhere, which is awesome. Awesome utility player, Swiss Army knife of a guy. But, in the short term, however, he's massively important. He's one of the only guys who can play center. So him and Foerster having that chemistry is really important. And if the Flyers I don't know what the heck they're trying to do this year, as I said before. Are they trying to make the playoffs? If they are trying to make the playoffs, and I'm assuming just due to the competitive nature of these guys as athletes, as professional athletes, they want to make the playoffs. They can't have one of their key players in Tyson Foerster do absolutely nothing for the first 3 months of the season.
No, that's a huge part of it. And it seems as if they really want to make the playoffs, but they really want their group of guys to get them there with very little supplemental help. Like when we're talking about Christian Dvorak and Dan Vladar as the main offseason additions outside of Trevor Zegras, who's a reclamation project, like it's going to have to be the dudes who are here. It's not, even if they're good, I don't expect them to like buy at the deadline or anything, I think they really want the players here to push it so that they know they only need a few pieces, albeit maybe high-end pieces. They only need a few pieces to complete this thing over the next couple of years. But yeah, we'll talk a little about where they rank later in the show. It's overall really good news that Tyson Foerster is hopefully ready to go at the start, and if not, right away, shortly thereafter. I read the story hoping there'd be like, oh, and just real quick, an update on Rasmus Ristolainen, but unfortunately, no such news exists. Risto is the mystery man, apparently.
I feel like we haven't gotten a concrete update on him since January, right? Because it was around the time of the little Four Nations tournament, because there was a lot of talk about trading Risto before that Four Nations tournament because we didn't want him to get hurt at the Four Nations tournament.
Yes.
And it turned out he got hurt before the Four Nations tournament. Yeah. And he just disappeared. Like, he's hanging out with Ryan Ellis sipping daiquiri somewhere right now.
That's Risto. I guess it's like hockey is a secretive, private sport, especially when it comes to injuries. But like we heard, yeah, man, everybody thought the decentralized draft sucked, but everybody loved the privacy, so we're doing it again. Like, and Risto appears to be, he personally, even more so than what is the baseline secrecy in the NHL, and which is like really high. So we won't know probably until like the first day of camp. That's my guess. Is awesome. We won't. That said, like I bet you Meltzer put out a tweet right now because that's what happens when you make declarative sentences. But like, I expect, on the first day we will find out what's going on with Rasmus Ristolainen, and probably not before that.
Yeah, it's infuriating because we were finally positive about this guy. There were years of trashing Risto.
Yes.
And I think everybody was on board with saying, this guy's actually a good defenseman. He's playing, like he's living up to that hard to play against title. He's reliable. He's a guy who can occasionally give you some punch on offense, overall, he was playing a really solid second pair role. He was being paid like a first pair guy, but who cares? That's it. I don't care as long as he's playing good hockey. Like if Andrew McDonald, back with his godforsaken contract, right around the same amount of money, had been playing this level, it would have been fine.
If he just didn't stink, like you could at least live with it. Like we're going to
Yes.
talk about Sean Couturier later. Yeah, he's wildly overpaid, but if he's not a minus, like, yes, efficiency wise, it's a minus dollars for production. But if he's not an actual minus on the ice, like if he is a net positive for this team, then you can live with him being overpaid and you have to figure other stuff out with the cap in the short term. Like that's kind of what I view Ristolainen as. And we're going to talk a little about the defensive rank. We did this yesterday a little with Travis Yost. Or Travis Yost D rank. We did it with Steve Peters, but I want to talk to you about it as well because I feel like there's a little bit of reputation going on in terms of where the Flyers are ranked. Like, yeah, man, that's what I thought about Risto 3 years ago, but actually he's good now. We'll get to it. First, we're going to talk a lot about defensemen. I want to do this Sanheim and the top 20 thing. So let's take our break a little early today.
Let's do it.
Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze, Sky Queen. It's the only app I use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand, like blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortune, and Cleopatra. You can also play slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, and so much more, and all your favorite casino games as well. And new users, listen up, because this is a deal you don't want to pass up. You can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. All you got to do is go to betparx.com and download the app right now to enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino right at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And while we're here, it's time to tell you about Xfinity and that 5-year price guarantee. That's right. Life is unpredictable, but the price of your internet shouldn't be. You've got to get a reliable price for a reliable connection. And that's exactly what you get with Xfinity, because with Xfinity, all in means all in. You get the Wi-Fi equipment and unlimited data included, and that all with your 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. One internet, 5 years, one price, guaranteed. Change is always happening. We know songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. But no matter what changes in 5 years, the price of your internet will stay the same. You're in your orange era now. Maybe 5 years, you're in a different era. But guess what? You'll still be paying the same for internet with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and are subject to change. All right. Every year, Steve, we get the NHL Network's top goalies, top forwards, top defenseman lists, and this is prime list season. We are ranking things. We are putting out lists. We are doing Mount Rushmores. Tomorrow, we're going to do fun lineups of both real and fictional players, I think. We're going to be doing all sorts of different things. But we have the NHL Network's top 20 defensemen. And I can't say I was shocked, but I was mildly surprised by the exclusion of Travis Sanheim, Steve. So if you look at this top 20, we got Brock Faber, Lane Hudson, Mikhail Sergachev, Devon Taves, Adam Fox, Shea Theodore, Thomas Harley, Jake Sanderson, Gustav Forsling, Charlie McAvoy, Evan Bouchard, Roman Josi, Jacob Slavin, Rasmus Dahlin, Josh Morrissey, Victor Hedman, Miro Heiskanen, Zach Werenski, which Hughes, the Quinn Hughes, of course, and Cale Makar. Yeah, Cale Makar at number 1. And it's funny because we've been going on and on about, Sanheim, like he's going to play in the Olympics for Team Canada. He's one of the 6 or 8 best Canadian defensemen in the league. Only 5 of the top 20 are Canadian. Makar, Morrissey, Bouchard, Theodore, and Taves. So, like, he could theoretically, like, be in the top 6, be one of the starters every night for Team Canada in the Olympics. And it's like, yeah, he's not considered the top 20, even if he is in that group, because there's only 5. There's 9 Americans, 3 Swedes, and 1 apiece of a Russian, a Finn, and who is from Switzerland? It's Roman
I'm the
Josi.
wrong.
Yeah,
I was going to say
Josi.
I'm the wrong guy to ask about this one, but
yeah,
I will say our producers have done a wonderful job of putting the initials there. But with Switzerland and Sweden, you're always just seeing the SW and just like, who can tell? I don't understand. Yeah, it's one of those things where I can't argue too hard about it. Like, I feel like he should be in the top 20 because, like, I do think he's a very good defenseman, and I think he's probably number 6 on that Canada team. But, like, I don't know. I'm just not quite like. It's like I feel like he should be there, but I can't quibble too much. But we were talking about this slightly before the show, and there is definitely like. I feel like there's a little bit of not an anti-Flyers bias, but like not thinking about the Flyers kind of bias with a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Like, I forget exactly what it was, but it might have been on Daily Faceoff or something. But Thomas from Broad Street Hockey had seen this list about like projecting the top stars in the NHL in like, I don't know, 10 years or something. And Matvei Michkov wasn't one of the guys. And I was like, what?
The top 30 in 2030, I think, was the list. And Michkov got like an honorable mention.
Which is, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's bias from watching him every night and being wowed by him most of those nights. But he feels like such a special player that feels like just such an immense slap in the face. And, Michkov is taking that, he's reading all this stuff and taking it all personally because he really loves some spite. And that's what I love about Matvei Michkov. But this is about Travis Sanheim right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to quibble too much. I don't really know enough about Lane Hutson's game. I know he put up a ton of points as a rookie defenseman. I think it's a little egregious to have Hutson over Sanheim.
There does seem to be quite a bias towards points here. You look at the descriptions and listen, it's a top 20 list in August. It's going to be whatever it is.
Yeah.
I would expect maybe a little bit more in-depth analysis from the flagship network of the league that carries this, that is the sport, but whatever. The thing I will say is if I could just take out one guy from this list, and like, I don't want to quibble too much with Charlie McAvoy. What I'll say is he misses a ton of time, and like the even strength scoring, maybe you want to look at Sanheim a little bit more. He just doesn't play on the power play, and that's going to suppress your numbers. But
and it's not like the Flyers score on the power play.
That's the other thing. They don't score on the power play, and he's not a part of it, even if they did. And listen, power play is important, but it will just suppress your overall numbers. You look at even strength scoring over the last 2 years amongst defensemen. We have, where is he? He is 22nd, is Travis Sanheim, which are like, all right, right outside the top 20. He's got 61 points at even strength. Jacob Slavin, 58. Like, he's on the list. Keandre Miller was an honorable mention, 53. Charlie McAvoy, 52. He's all the way down at number 42. Miro Heiskanen, 51. And, like, no one's questioning whether he's one of the top defensemen in the league. I'm just saying.
Where's Hudson
Brock Faber down there at 49.
Where's Lane Hutson on that list?
Lane Hutson was pretty high. Well, he only played the 1 year, and I did the last 2. But he's probably...
I was curious about how much of that was power play versus even strength.
He did score a ton. Lane Hutson, 42 even strength points out of 68 last year.
Okay, that's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, he had a ton on the power play, but he did score a decent amount at even strength.
Yeah, but like, it's one of those things like, and that seems to be the case with Norris voting anymore also, is like, it doesn't seem like you're taking the overall defensive game into account here. And I know that's hard to quantify, especially if you're not watching a guy every night. Like, you really have to dive into the fancy stats on that one. But yeah, it's like a real minor slap in the face, like like that kind of slap in the face where it's like, it doesn't feel right that he's not up there, but also the Flyers stink. So I can't get too upset.
No, listen, if he got some playoff exposure, maybe after this first half, if the Flyers are good, if he's on the Olympic team, we could absolutely quibble with it a little. I will say, though, while Adam Fox has very good scoring numbers, and while he is thought of, he won a Norris a few years ago, he hasn't been good lately. If I could just swap out a guy on this list, I would take Fox out of 16 and I would put Sanheim in there. But what I will say bothered me more than the exclusion from the top 20, because listen, there's a ton of really good defensemen and there's a lot of different ways you can judge them. They're like, okay, well, we got Slavin in there, we got Faber in there, but it is going to be pretty scoring dependent. Like, we have to have Taves because he's McCarr's guy. Like, they're going to be the top pair on the Canadian Olympic team. And, like, no one's saying Taves isn't great, but they put out an article before the top 20 came out of guys who are on the cusp of the top 20 and could appear next year. And at first, you see some young guys. You're like, all right, Brant Clark, Luke Hughes, Jackson LeCombe, like, sure. They just haven't made their mark yet. Then there's Seth Jones, Keandre Miller, Mo Sider, who maybe should be on the list, but Mackenzie Weegar. Like, these guys have been in the league a little bit. We know who these guys are.
Seth Jones is going to hit his potential any year now, Bill.
Seth Jones is really freaking good. Maybe he should be on the list too. And it's just like playing in Chicago and on a bad Columbus team. Like, you see him in Florida going, oh, he led them in ice time and they won the Stanley Cup. Maybe there's something to that. But, like, how is Sanheim not on the cusp? He's going to be in the freaking Olympics.
He's going to be in the Olympics. He's playing, 22, 23 plus minutes a night for the Flyers right now. Like, I'd have to look that up. I'm speaking out my butt here, but I know he's playing a ton of minutes for the Flyers. And yeah, the Olympic thing is a huge thing. I mean, he was a starting defenseman for the most part for Canada in that tournament. And yeah, if he makes that Olympic team, he's one of the top 6 Canadian defensemen. You're telling me he's not a cusp guy? That's just crazy talk to me.
Sanheim has averaged over the last 2 years 24.09, 15th in the 15th among defensemen the last 2 years.
That's a telling stat to me. All right, like that, the fact that he's being trusted for that many minutes a night from a tough defensive coach and John Tortorella says a lot about the quality of that player. And there's some good names on here, but like if he's 14th, if he's being trusted with more minutes than a lot of these guys, I don't know. Maybe we got to reevaluate some things.
And I do there is, I think, because they haven't been in the playoffs in forever, that hurts. And especially like the last year and a half, they got really good goaltending up until around January 20th of a season ago. And then for the last season and really, season and a half, it's been the worst in the league. Your plus minus isn't going to be great. Your on ice results, even if the expected goals and stuff are right, it's like, yeah, but they got outscored by 15. It's like, well, yeah, look at the goals save above average total for the Flyers last year. The 3 goalies combined for negative 45.5. So
is that good?
Of course they're getting outscored when they're on the ice. Anyway, like Victor Hedman and Chris Pronger and Zdeno Chara and like in your top 4 would be minus. Like they just would be.
I mean, if we want to talk straight plus minus, which I'm sure nobody does, Ryan McDonough is the best defenseman in the league, and he's ancient. So, yeah, I don't know what the heck. Ryan McDonough was a plus 43 last year. So there you go. Him and Braden McNabb, the only plus 40 players in the league. But also, nobody respects plus minus at all, just like nobody respects the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't get no respect.
No, and this is part of the conversation to move on to Travis Yost's ranking on TSN. We were going to do this a couple of days ago. I ended up doing it with Steve Peters yesterday, but he's got them in tier 4, which is essentially, you look at it like, okay, it's a D. I'm not asking for the world here. It's not as if I'm the highest in the world on the Flyers defense, but I gotta believe they're a C, Steve. I really gotta believe, like, Travis Sanheim being one of the top, okay, if he's not 20, top 30 defensemen in the NHL. I think you have to give him that. Rasmus Ristolainen turning into what he's turned into. Cam York, while, again, I'm not the biggest fan, like, he's got pretty good on-ice results when he's out there. You see some of these rankings that got broken down. I don't know who did it, but Broad Street Hockey wrote about it today. Like Yegor Zamula, one of the best at contested puck rate and net front guys. Risto and Sealer, really, really good. Like Jamie Drysdale, I realize is a huge question mark. We're not really sure what he is right now, but I just look at this D and think this is a C, not a D. This should be tier 3, not tier 4. Like, is that? I realize I'm nitpicking here, and when you have the goaltending the Flyers get, it's like, sorry, you're getting dinged. Like, a lot of goals go in against this team, but I feel like the defensemen themselves aren't as bad as the list.
No, they're not. Like, I look at the defense, and when I'm evaluating this team, right, like, I never think of the defense as the one position really needing, like, immediate, like, triage help, right? Like, we have to get defensive help immediately. That's not an area I worry about too much with this team. They have actually pretty solid defense.
The depth is fine. They just need a guy, you know?
Right. They need, like, a top guy, sure,
Yes.
but, like, they've got depth. They've got potential. Like, I just, like, they're not exciting, but they're definitely not, like, to have them next to the Penguins, I think is a huge insult. The Penguins defense is hot garbage.
All right. So that's really the point I was making yesterday with Petey, and Petey hates Erik Karlsson, like just has this disdain for the game that Erik Karlsson plays. So I wanted to set him up for that. That was most of the reason I did it with him yesterday.
You're teeing him up, yeah.
Like last season, Matt Grzelcyk, we talked about this the other day, played almost 21 minutes a game, played 80 games, I believe, for the Penguins, maybe all 82, and averaged, I think, 20-37 of ice time. He is now a free agent, basically PTO candidate. Sanheim, York, Drysdale, Sealer, Risto, Zamula, any of those guys hit free agency or the waiver wire, they're not clearing.
No.
I truly believe Zamula would not clear waivers, and, like, he's just okay. He's a decent enough third-pair defenseman. Maybe he clears, but, like, if he's just a free agent, he ain't sitting out there right now. I'll tell you that.
No.
Even Andre and Grans, like, they have some upside. I
don't see either of those guys clearing either.
I can't put them in the same category of only Anaheim and San Jose have a worse defense.
Right. It's kind of just weird. Like, I know, again, because I feel like it's all because the team finished low in the standings. And it's hard when you're a national guy because, like, we're looking at the top 20 defenseman list there, right? And I'm like, I know the guys at the top really well, but then I'm looking at the guys, like, that I could quibble with for Sanheim, and I'm like, I don't watch them that often. And when I watch other teams, like, you see the big names, but you're not really, like, focusing on their shift by shift game because who has the time and mental capacity to do such a thing? I know some people do because the world of hockey has the truest sickos of all sports, and I love them to death. But it's hard if you're a national guy to really watch this. So I feel like the Flyers' place in the standings is a large part of why they get ranked so low on a lot of these listicles here.
That said, like at a certain point, you just have to go, a lot of goals go in against this team, and you can blame the goaltending all you want, but the defense does play a part in that. Sure, that's why I'm like C. This is a C group. I'm not demanding they be put in one of the top 2 tiers with Florida or Colorado. Like, no, that's silly. Like,
we're asking for very little.
Yeah,
we want Travis Sanheim on the cusp, and we want a C grade. We just want to pass this class, man.
Colorado's top pair is going to be the top pair on the team favored to win an Olympic gold medal. Like, no, I'm not going to put them in the same tier. That's silly. That's absolutely asinine. I'm just saying it's a freaking C. And if not, at least put Sanheim on the cusp of the top 20. I mean, this guy has really put his time in. You look at, okay, did we think of Zach Werenski the way we do now? Seth Jones on the cusp, did we think of it? No, but guess what? John Tortorella's faith in those guys kind of catapulted their careers. And the same thing has happened with Travis Sanheim. Now he's got to keep it up under the new staff, but, like, I don't know, I just feel like him alone having Sanheim alone puts them in the C group rather than the D group. And then you look at the depth and go, these guys can play. There's no one who stinks. Like, I wouldn't look at this list and go, oh, he's unplayable. And we have had plenty of unplayable. We started Hal Gill in a playoff game at like the age of 40.
The Flyers made a Stanley Cup final with an unplayable third pairing.
With no third pair.
No third pair. Like Ryan Parent, oh my God, what's his name? I'm forgetting him. But there was another guy too who I love, but he's not good.
Was it
but
Bartulis?
Bartulis, Oscar's the part.
Him?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's like they
play like a minute
and a half.
He's not the Oski boy.
They'd play like 4 minutes and be a minus. Like, how did you not just play ping pong for a couple of minutes and get the hell off?
It was insane. Like Pronger was basically like gasping for air.
Skates. All we needed was the time for Chemo to retie his skates, and you gave up a goal.
If you honestly, they might win the cup if you put Igor Zamula on that third pairing back then.
I said that a few weeks ago as a joke, and I honestly have started to believe it. Like, if you
needed a warm body,
Zamula and Sealer as the third pair, they win.
I think so, because they're not just a total just catastrophe out there. And the thing was, when the Flyers third pairing was out there during that cup run, it was a catastrophe. It was just horrible for them. They had an amazing top four defense, and then the bottom pair was just flaming garbage. So of course they were exhausted at the end of that cup run. And it's not like Pronger was a young man at that point, but like to call them a tier D, a D, or tier 4 D level pair, it's no good.
And we always joke, like, the Selke Trophy and the Norris especially a lot of the time are like, who was the best defenseman 3 years ago? Well, they win it now. We're like, who was the best defensive forward 3 years ago? And I feel like there's a little bit of that happening with Risto. Like, in the beginning of the first half of Risto's career, it was like, no, you're all wrong. He's good and you don't see it. And then all those people finally realized he's bad. And it's like, he's good now. They turned him into a pretty serviceable guy. And the national people are like, Risto stinks.
It stinks.
No, we thought that 5 years ago. It's not true anymore.
Get with the times. He's actually hard to play against now.
He's injury prone.
Yes, he is injury prone, which is always amazing to me for one of those big bodies. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's part of that. It's Charlie points to it and goes, everyone looks at the smaller guys like, oh, how will they hold up? You need to draft big guys. Well, guess what? Risto is the prototypical big guy, and he's always freaking hurt. It's not as if this is a one-for-one thing. Big equals healthy, small equals hurt.
Oh, it definitely doesn't. I mean, look at Samuel Morin, right? Like, Samuel Morin, you draft that guy, you're like, all right, Holmgren overreached, right? But you think at minimum, this big, durable guy is going to get in and play NHL time and at least beat the crap out of some guys. He did beat the crap out of some guys, just not for a very long period of time.
I just wish, even if it was for a short period of time, we could have gotten Moran, Gostisbehere together.
Oh, dude, I did that in the NHL games, and it was
Thunder
beautiful.
And Lightning pairing that we thought we would have for just like if they got to play like a season together, just to see if it would have worked. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out for a number of reasons. That's the Flyers.
That's the Flyers. Big
sigh. What if Wednesday? It is Thursday, of course. All right. Without further ado, let's hit that second commercial break. I got to tell you about the Ford Explorer. That's right. America's all-time best-selling SUV. It's a legacy of family trust and performance. It offers 3-row seating for up to 7 passengers. Great for families and road trips. When you're on the road, especially maybe with some kids, you want that extra row. You want that extra room. That's what makes the Ford Explorer not just durable, not just a great utility vehicle, but a great family vehicle. And it's available in rear-wheel drive or intelligent 4-wheel drive for better traction and control. Comes with a choice of 3 powertrains, including a hybrid for better fuel economy. You've got the 2.3-liter EcoBoost i4 engine. It delivers power with efficiency up to 300 horsepower. You have the 3.0-liter EcoBoost V6, kicks it up to 400 horsepower, and the hybrid model offers up to 500 miles of driving range, a great balance of power and economy. It's packed with Ford Copilot 360, a suite of advanced driver assist features, and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster adds a high-tech feel to the driving experience. And it's got available Sync 4 infotainment system with a large touchscreen and voice command. All sorts of awesome features, and of course, up to 87.8 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded down. The rear seat passengers get available captain's chairs as well for some extra comfort. So many great features, including standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto across all the trims. It's built for families, but ready for adventure. It's a true do-it-all SUV. For more information, visit your local Ford store. And while we're here, got to tell you about Bet365, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I've been telling you for years now about how they've innovated live in-game betting, all of the markets, all of the sports they have to bet on. And you know I love that NHL early payout offer where you go up 3 goals, boom, you're a winner. Doesn't matter how the game ends. No need to sweat out the game. Well, they've got the same thing for Major League Baseball with the Bet365 early payout offer. You're a winner if your team goes up 5 runs ahead with an instant payout on moneyline bets, and parlay selections are marked as winners as well. And we've got breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for 5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, total, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Steve. So we're talking about some rankings and lists, and today is really just airing my grievances with a bunch of different lists.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
I got a lot of problems with the internet and their search for content during the dead part of the season, and I'm just gonna steal it all and complain about it. So thanks for making it, whether I agree with you or not.
You know what it is, by the way? It's Think About It Thursday.
Think about it Thursday.
Think about it.
Think about this, Steve. Sportsnet's Ryan Dixon created a power ranking, and at first I thought it was going to be like, oh, power ranking the offseason, who won the offseason, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. No, it's just his legit power ranking, like for heading into the season. He's got the Flyers at 29. Only teams below the Flyers are Seattle, Pittsburgh, and San Jose. I've said repeatedly, I'll be shocked if this team is in the bottom 5. Should I be?
I am trying to set my expectations low, but yeah, I'd be shocked too. I really don't think, number one, that team probably shouldn't have finished in the bottom 5, but things just got so bad under Tortorella. The goaltending was so unreliable. I don't think the team outside of the goaltending was necessarily that horrific last year. The goaltending really was that horrific that it made the rest of it just so bad. I mean, you have Fedotov back there doing his breakdancing or whatever the hell he was doing. It was just atrocious. And then
like,
Sam
Alexei
Ersson,
Kolosov stinks. He's not good.
Kolosov
Maybe one
stunk.
day he'll be an NHL goalie.
Yeah.
Right now, he is the opposite of that.
And this guy was coming in demanding a spot immediately, and that's what he gave us. It was just horrific. I'm using horrific a lot, but, you know, that's what it was.
That's what the goaltending was.
Yeah, and then Sam Ersson, he'll be healthy for like 2 days at a time, and then who knows what the heck would happen to him. So I think the goaltending was a big part of that. That said, as I said, the national media is not watching this team very closely. When they see that Trevor Zegras, who has been not great the past couple of years, is their big key acquisition, and Dan Vladar is the other goaltender who's got pretty crappy numbers. Like, I can see why they look at this on paper and say this team hasn't gotten better. They're still like a 4th worst team. I understand it, but I don't feel that. I don't feel that in my heart, Bill. I don't feel like this team is a bottom 5 team. I think they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder. I think they're gonna have a lot to prove, and I think they're gonna have that new coaching staff bump too, where things are gonna be different. I'm excited for that most of all. Things are gonna be different.
Yes.
I don't even care how different they are as long as they're different, because it just, watching that Tortorella style, that ugly block gum up the works, no offensive creativity, the worst power play in the league style. What do you say, 33rd out of 32?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, that was just so old by the end of last season.
It's just like they played defense in such a way that like just slowed the game down until they were able to block a shot and get an outlet pass. And even, okay, we're not giving up a lot of high danger chances, but we just are stuck on defense all the time. And because there's such an emphasis on creating rushes, only really the Noah Cates line ever established a forecheck. They were just never on offense. I am looking forward to having a little bit more defensive structure that isn't just about blocking shots so that maybe you can get an outlet pass, and it actually turning into a breakout where they play some hockey in the defensive and neutral zones, which leads to more offensive zone time. And it's just, this, I guess, is what drove me nuts about this power ranking on Sportsnet. 29 is the Philadelphia Flyers. Their note is, how long will Trevor Zegras last at center under new coach Rick Tocchet? Okay. Like, I would, let's say he's a good winger. Like, let's say Christian Dvorak ends up centering Zegras and, like, Tyson Foerster. Like, that's a good line, even if Zegras is just a winger. But I kind of think there's going to be a mandate to keep Zegras' center as long as humanly possible, even if you have to supplement some face-offs with Dvorak and things like that. But that's at 29. At 28 is the Chicago Blackhawks.
What?
And, like, how are they ahead? I don't know.
That's it, dude. That team is garbage. Like, that one is. I actually am offended by that one because the Chicago Blackhawks are horrible.
The note next to Chicago says, "We finally hit the point of the ranking where it would be a shock the world situation if the club made the playoffs. For the Hawks, it's all about just taking a significant step forward." And then the Flyers at 29. It's like, if the goaltending isn't terrible, they're going to be in the middle of the league. And listen, a huge if. We don't know if Sam Ersson is that good at all. Like,
and Vladar. I think Vladar is like, I think if there's there's few goalies they could have signed that I would have less confidence in going into the season. Prove me wrong, bud. Please prove me wrong.
We may have a couple of goalies who are just solid backups, and guess what? That might leave 20 games where we don't know what the hell's going to happen because these guys can't handle the workload. They wear down, they get hurt, whatever it is. And then maybe we do see more Ivan Fedotov. Maybe we have to call up a Bjarnason way before he's ready and he's in a Kolosov situation. Whatever it is, those are possibilities.
Let me run down the Chicago Blackhawks lines for you. Top line. Connor Bedard, Ryan Donato, Andre Burakovsky. Second line, Frank Nazar, Teuvo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi. Third line, Jason Dickinson. Who is Jason Dickinson? Ilya Michkov. I don't know who that is. Nick Foligno. Nick Foligno's 100 years old.
I mean, I guess it's good that Nick Foligno's no longer on the top line. They have some depth that has pushed him down.
Barely. These are a bunch of guys.
It's
Sam Lafferty, Oliver Moore, Landon Slaggert. Landon Slaggert is an NHL creative player, and AI made that man.
That's Mark Cole. That's not a real guy.
It's not a real guy. So this is a team of a bunch of guys. It's bonkers to say that they're better than the Flyers. Their defense, Alex Vlasic and Sam Rinzel. Who are these people? Wyatt Kaiser, Artyom Leshunov. Who is this? Ethan Del Mastro?
Leshunov, I think, is one of their good prospects, but he's not like, he's a young defenseman. Like, you know who aren't good? Young defensemen.
Connor Murphy. That completes the unit right there.
I just like, for a team.
They do have a goalie, though. Spencer Knight is a goalie.
Chicago has finished bottom two, like each of the last 2 years. I can't imagine they're ahead of too many teams. It would be surprising. They wanted to take a step last year. They didn't. Now, maybe Spencer Knight lives up to the hype and he's really good. And if they have a decent enough goalie, that could put them ahead of the Flyers. I just look at this and I'm like, I don't see a bottom four team the way this is. Like
Spencer
maybe
Knight's
I'm
going to have to
naive.
do a lot of work. Like he's going to have to be like
Yeah.
2011 Carey Price to get them
Maybe-
out of that hole.
Maybe this is naive, but like maybe I am too close. I try not to overrate our guys. Sometimes I think I underrate our own guys because familiarity breeds contempt a lot of the time. Like I just don't like Owen Tippett and Cam York right now. Maybe I have decided I am going to wipe the slate clean with Cam York. I don't know if I can do that with Owen Tippett because I was such a Tippett supporter that like I feel betrayed by the season he just had. Whereas Cam York, I'm like, all right, you know what? He signed a 5-year deal. He's here. I need to start at zero with him. We can't be in the red at the beginning of a 5-year deal. You know,
you're no longer one of Owen Tippett's big tippers.
I like it. I like that. All right,
you're not leaving a 20 on the table for old Owen Tippett over there.
No, he's not getting 20%. It's not even the year he had, Steve. It's not even the year he had because, listen, you look at really decent goal scorers, like I think he is, the 28 to hopefully 35 goal guys. Sometimes they'll just have a down year where it's like, yeah, the shooting percentage wasn't good. They just didn't work. Just whatever reason the puck didn't go in for them. But when he has like 100 fewer shot attempts, all that, like all the numbers were down. And then in his exit interview, it was like, I think it was a good year. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's a lie. If you think that was a good year, you're incorrect. And I now worry about who you are as a player. Because, like, if you think that's good and acceptable, no.
That was a lie.
Like, Matvei Michkov leads all rookies in goal scoring, has 60-some points, most by a Flyer since Simone Gagne. And it's, everything sucked. I can be better at everything. Like, that was his exit interview. Everything sucked. I wasn't good enough at nearly anything. Like, okay. I'm behind that. Meanwhile, Owen Tippett, 8 fewer goals than the year before, 100 fewer shot attempts.
Pretty good.
I think it was all right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But I digress. I wanted to get to Coots before we wrap up today because he was ranked 6th at The Athletic by our pal Dom in his worst contracts piece. And I think that's fair. Honestly, I think that's fair. He missed an entire first season of the contract. He's got like 5 years left. I get it. It's not a good deal. Almost $8 million for a guy who gave you 45 points. That said, it's buyout proof, so there's nothing you can really do about it. If you were to buy out Sean Couturier at any point in this contract, whatever years are left, like if you did it after this season, you'd have 4 years saving no more than $1 million. And then you double the amount of years left because that's how buyouts work. He'd still be about $500,000 against the cap for like the next 4 or 5 years.
If I have to pay a 4th line center $7+ million a season, I'm doing it. I don't care.
Or you pay him $6 to not play. Like there's no difference. There's no freaking difference.
Like if you send him to Ellis Island, I don't care. Yeah. Like let's do it because like I'm not buying that contract out. That's just too much, and you're going to need all that room for Connor McDavid and Matvei Michkov.
He didn't make Down Goes Browns team that he put together of the worst contracts and still a cap compliant roster. Didn't make that team, so that was good to see. The Flyers had no one on that team, but they did catch strays at the very end.
Always catching strays.
The team
that's all just strays we get now.
The team DGB put together has a little bit more cap space than the Flyers do, and it's nothing but terrible contracts, so that was kind of funny. That said, all that about Coots. 45 points is like the 3rd or 4th highest total of his career. He put it up last year. What's a reasonable expectation for this coming season?
I mean, he's going to be getting ice time, you know? Like, he's one of the only legitimate centers that this team has. He still plays good defense. He can still have a good offensive night. He had the hat trick night last season. He's not the most useless player. He's not Andrew McDonald out there just phoning it in.
Yes.
Actually, my biggest comparison and one of the most disastrous contracts, I think, in recent Flyers history was Vincent Lecavalier, where Vinny Lecavalier he had a pretty good first season, scored, I think, 20 goals.
20 goals?
And then we were like, all right, that's all you can ask for, right? and then womp, womp, just garbage to the point that Hextall, like that was actually one of Hextall's best moves, was getting rid of that contract to LA. That was actually a pretty good move. That was excellent. But that's what a disaster is. He was an unplayable player when they traded him. He just was a liability every time he stepped out there. Sean Couturier, at very worst, is going to give you some slow defense, right? Like, his hockey instincts are always going to be there. It's just a matter of how effective he is going the other way. I'm never worried about his defense too much, but can he be an offensive participant? Can he, because he's probably going to start the season as your number one center, playing with Travis Konechny and Matvei Michkov. That is a key pivotal player.
Probably.
Yeah. And here's the thing. As long as he's, to use a Simpsons term, cromulent in that role, and those guys just score, I'm cool with it. Is he overpaid? Sure. I don't care if he's a good hockey player. Not a great hockey player. I'll take good.
That's like, he's not a 1C anymore. And maybe for right now, we have to use him in that role. Maybe if he had another good puck handler on that line, like, you still see, even offensively, like, he is going to win battles. He is going to win you faceoffs. He's got size to get to the net. He can still score a little bit. If you can put him with the right line mates in the right role, it still works. It's just like, yeah, he's going to be overpaid. My biggest worry is, like, this is what he is now. I'm just hoping he doesn't lose much as we go forward here.
Yeah, and the injury history is obviously the biggest worry, because back injury, is it ACL tear, UCL, like stuff, all stuff that's
MCL,
very sensitive.
I think,
MCL, all stuff that's very sensitive, and stuff that can really just wreck you forever,
Yeah.
So it's all stuff that slows you down and makes you more vulnerable as a player ultimately. So that's my biggest concern is injuries. I think because it can slow him down further, and it can make him a potential liability as he gets older. I'm just hoping he's a smart guy. He can adapt this game.
He was never fast to begin with, and that's kind of the Well,
because for a while we just thought he was a third, fourth line center. Like, that's who we truly thought he was. I always remember this Coyotes game where I just heard this old man go like, Couturier, what does he do? And this was like 2014. And then he would prove us wrong. He would be a legit number one center on this team for quite a few years.
30 goals, 70 points, a Selke trophy, a few top 5 finishes. Like, yeah, pretty good.
Mr. Chestnut Checkers,
it's just the most Flyers thing ever. Like, of course he had a back injury. Like, your tall center who plays defense. Like, all we need is you to win 60% of your faceoffs, and your back's hurt. Like, of course.
Doctor says he needs a backiotomy.
Doctor says he needs a backiotomy. All right, we only had one, but now we have 4 super chats. So let's hit the first one of those before we get to overtime. First one, of course, from our pal JH. The hot take artists are doing the same thing they always do, and the same thing by ranking Hurts so low. Speaking of hot takes, 321 days till McDavid is a free agent. I love the countdown, and I do think the Hurts stuff, there is some hot takiness to it. I also think people just don't know how to quantify everything he does. Like, awesome football player, regardless of he doesn't make every great throw that other quarterbacks do, but
all he does is win, Bill.
He also never loses. So how do we did say the most important thing with quarterbacks is winning, and now someone who does it all the time but doesn't always look pretty is awesome. We don't know how to rank it.
It's like inverse McNabb, because you remember all the McNabb complaints back in the day. Oh, he only puts up stats. He doesn't win games. And Hurts doesn't really put up stats, but man, he wins games. Super Bowl MVP, as I recall.
It's pretty nice. Yeah. But I do think it's less hot takey with some of this Flyer stuff and more just like Steve said, they're not in the public consciousness. It's just, they just haven't been relevant. And with that,
Matvei Michkov's got to put him there.
Michkov is going to change that this year with a 90-point season. With that, we got to trigger overtime. Head to allphly.com if you're part of the TV audience. All right, let's get to the rest of these super chats, and then I do want to ask Steve about what sort of comedy troupe he's got going on. From JH again, the Ayerson persons unite against Steve's slander.
Listen, I love the son of Ayers, right? Like, I think he is a good goalie in the right situation, and I've seen him have some excellent nights. I want this guy to work out, but he is just so unreliable with his injuries that I can't rely on this guy. Like, I can't, he's not a night in, night out goaltender, at least what he's shown me so far. He is the number one guy on this team that I want to prove me wrong, though.
Maybe all these experiences, he figures out how to be a starter in this league that can handle a 50-game workload. To this point, I have no evidence that suggests that. I believe he does have a future in this franchise as a backup goalie, and you still need a number one. And he could be very good. You could lose very little on the nights he starts. We saw it when he was working his way up, when Carter Hart was here, and Carter Hart was the unquestioned number one, and then Ersson started digging away at that workload a little bit. Yeah, maybe he can be that guy, but once he became the number one, it has gone very poorly.
The big thing for me this season with him is Dan Vader over there. Because if Mr. Vader can be a steady tandem guy, then maybe we could see the best version of Ersson. The best version of Ersson we've seen so far was when he was backing up Carter Hart, and Hart was starting most nights, but Ersson could step in for a stretch and have you some really good hockey. But then when Hart, went away, Ersson fell apart down the stretch because he wasn't used to the workload, and also he's had injuries. Like, I want this guy to work out, but it's really, I think he's gonna get one more really good shot this year to see what we got, because I think Vladar's going to be the guy for the year. And if Vladar stays healthy and gives you solid play, and Ersson can do the same thing, I would love to just not see Ivan Fedotov this year. I think we're going to. But I would love to. That's a good sign for Ersson. If you don't see Ivan Fedotov, that means things worked out for Ersson.
I really wonder what's going to happen with Fedotov and Kolosov. Kolosov, I just assume, won't report and is going to play in the KHL.
Well, is this the last year of Fedotov's contract?
It is, yeah. Fedotov
so I think
also has a year left.
I think he's going back home after this, and that's it. Like, he might even leave halfway through the year. Who knows? I
expected that last year. I thought they were going to have a mutual termination in December the way it was going with him.
I'll buy him the plane ticket. I don't care at this point. But, like, Carson, I don't think I can. Carson Bjarnason, though, that's where, like, my future hopes are right now. Like, I really am excited to see what he can bring to the table. And, of course, we have Zavragan at some point. But Bjarnason is just a couple hours ride up north. He's right there. And I'm really excited to see him in the near future. That said, you probably have 2 years till he's getting his true shot. So, Ersson, baby, you're going to do it. You got 2 years to get yourself together and stay healthy.
All right, let's see this next one here. Another one from JH. He's just spending the money today. Steve has been forgiven by being a Mick believer.
Got to believe in something, JH, and this is the best shiny toy that I can believe in. So, listen, you got to believe, and we got deep pockets with the ownership here. You got to believe. We got deep pockets with the ownership right here, and if he hasn't signed a contract yet, I'm going to believe until he signs that contract.
All right, we are on our last super chat. This one from Mellerman4. Bill, my friend, you're putting too much stock into that Tippett exit interview. Poorly chosen words doesn't change the fact that he still has potential. I think he has potential, but then score. Like, how long can we talk about potential for a guy who's already signed his prime extension, who's already 25, 26 years old? Like, we can only talk about potential for so long. Eventually, a guy just is what he is.
He's 26 right now.
Yeah.
He's born in February, so by the end of this season, he'll be 27. This is prime time.
These are the years he's supposed to have his best numbers.
Well, I see, and I was really bummed that he didn't hit the 30-goal mark last year. Like, I was convinced, like, okay, Owen Tippett is ready for prime time. This is the go year. Because he got a lot of ice time, right? Like, he was I mean, I'm looking at his ice time right now. It wasn't as much as you think, but that's because he wasn't doing a ton out there. I want him to work out so bad because he's so damn fast. And when he's doing his thing, he is awesome. When he does that spinorama against the Dallas Stars, when he took over that Columbus Blue Jackets game, I that was one game that I did not forget from last season, because that was when I was filling in. You and Charlie were both out that night. It was me and Tyler, and I think Charlie was at the game. You were off, and we were like going in the third period going, this game is trash. I don't know what we're going to talk about for an hour. And then Owen Tippett has 4 damn points and the Flyers win the game in OT. He took over that game. And I don't need to see that every night, but I need to see that more regular. And 20 goals ain't going to cut it. Okay. We need Owen Tippett to be a top 6 player. And 20 goals is not it. I would love, I got to see 25 plus out of him this year.
I has to. I need 28 to 30. Like, I need him to hit his baseline now and hopefully become that 35 goal guy. What makes him frustrating is he's got speed, he's got size, he's strong, he's got more puck skill than you think. He's got a really powerful shot. Put it all together. Be an excellent player, and he's just a guy right now. Like, he had a decent ass season, like a mediocre season.
I would say he's one of the guys I'm most curious about under Tocchet, because Tortorella obviously isn't known for inspiring an exciting offensive game. So Rick Tocchet, you know, the players for the most part, with the notable exception of Elias Pettersson, seem to love Tocchet. So I really want to see if he could unlock this in Tippett. That'll make me both a Tocchet believer and a Tippett believer.
And that's what's so, like, he's such a rush-based player. He basically only scores on the rush, and there's going to be less of that this year. Like, they are going to try to establish the forecheck. And like, I look at Tyson Foerster and be like, oh, that could hurt him, because maybe he just doesn't have the skating ability, the stride to like step off the wall and create a shot for himself. But I look at Tippett and go, there's no reason he can't win a battle, carry the puck off the wall, make a little room for himself, and uncork a shot that goes in because he's a great shooter.
He has all the skills that you want. He's got all the
tools. I don't know why he can't be a 30-goal scorer. It seems crazy to me that he isn't, but
every tool you want in a top-line player.
All right, Steve, before we wrap it up, what's this comedy thing you've been talked into?
Oh, my God. Well, okay, so the thing I'm doing specifically on Saturday night is there's a thing run by Philly Sketchfest where they do, every few months, they do this thing called Cutthroat Sketch, which is like Cutthroat Kitchen, where you get like a month and a theme to put together basically like 3-4 sketch comedy bits and perform them, but then you get sabotages beforehand that you can bid on and such. So I've done this a few times. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, it's been a cool thing. Like over the past like year and a half, 2 years, my girlfriend Emily had been taking classes at Crossroads Comedy Theater and met a bunch of people and put together a troupe called Motel Party. And I helped them out with a lot of stuff, write some bits. I'll record for them, occasionally act and stuff. So it's fun. It's got, you know, doing just fun, creative stuff throughout the city of Philadelphia. So like Philly Sketchfest has a lot of stuff going on. I'll be at Salbona on Passyunk Ave on Saturday night for a Cutthroat Sketch. So it should be interesting. I'm writing most of it for my group, so it promises to be a little unhinged.
So it'll definitely be funny, if nothing else.
Well, thank you. I hope so. It's going to be interesting. I'll say that. I'm confident. I think I wrote some good stuff.
That's really cool. I am glad you were able to share that. I see it in your Instagram stories. Usually I'm just looking for your dog because he rules.
He's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen that, and I was like, oh, we need to talk about this because it sounds awesome.
It's a lot of fun. It's cool to just get out there and do like creative stuff.
That is all the time we have for you today on PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the YouTube page. Hit that reminder bell so you never miss a live show. And give us the thumbs up. Hit the like button, damn it. Follow us on all our socials. We're on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and everywhere else. Follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers and give Flyperbole a listen too. It's pretty damn good. All right, that's it. I am Bill. That is Steve. There we go. That is Steve. Until next time, be excellent to each other.